Sgt. Pepper's anniversary is also being remembered here in Istanbul by a tribute act called Meet the Beatles. They've been performing together for around 10 years. Elif Bereketli caught up with them at one of their favourite record shops for a chat.
When you listen to the Beatles, whatever mood you're in, or whatever you're thinking about, or whatever you're wondering, there's a Beatles song which you can relate to. And that's, if you're gonna fall in love, you can find many songs for that. Or if you're feeling, the world's not treating you fair, there are songs about that. And if you're like feeling, I'm just gonna go and have fun and nothing matters, there's a song about that. So that's why you keep connected to the Beatles.
All my loving I will send to you. All my loving, darling, I'll be true.
College was finished and we fell apart for a while, though we were still friends, but we didn't sing together or play together. And then in 2009 we got bored and we missed playing the music, and so we got back to playing again, and we said, why not make a Beatles project? And so we formed Meet the Beatles. There it is.
My family, they also listen to the Beatles, and I was growing up, listen to the popular songs of the Beatles, like Yesterday, blah blah. But my real interest to the Beatles began in 1987. I remember that. I was in middle school. It was the English class. Our teacher gave us a worksheet, and it was the lyrics of Eleanor Rigby, and it's the Sgt. Pepper's album. And I listened to the song, and I was instantly in love. And at the end of the class, I went to the teacher and said, "Ma'am, what is this?" And she said, "It's the Beatles. And can I have the cassette, please?" And she
Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember, I'll always be true.
So how does the Turkish audience react to your tribute band?
People loved it. We didn't know that. So many people are loving Beatles.
I was especially surprised about how young the audience was. You're playing the Beatles, you would expect a age average of like 40s, but it was surprisingly young.
So what is the story behind the name of the band? Because I can see there is a bit of a wordplay there.
We realized that the name of the band itself, the Beatles, it's also a word game. So we said, why don't we do the same thing for the band name? So we changed the letters in Meet the Beatles, like switch in doubles.
We put it here.
Yeah.
So what are your daily professions?
I am an engineer and I'm doing engineering work meanwhile. So what I do is I just leave the office, change into the jeans and run to the studio and meet with the guys and scream till I feel much better, because it makes me feel more alive and much better. So we can say that we're not making a living out of this, but I can say as a hobby we have put a lot of time and passion to it.
So do you have a John, Ringo, George or Paul in the band?
That's a classic. As Selçuk said before, what the Beatles did with just 4 people, we couldn't manage with 4 people, so we are 6. Sometimes I'm John, sometimes he's John, nobody's Ringo.
And then while I'm away, I'll ride home every day, and I'll send all my loving to you.
So now that you spent almost a decade listening to and singing Beatles songs pretty much every day, I'm just wondering what Beatles means to you today.
Every day I listen to a couple of Beatles songs. It's in my life so that my kid uh, he tries to sing along with me, and then he is now playing with his friends some Beatles songs at school.
And they are actually the ones that started many types of music, because if you listen to their songs, you know, really, if you focus on them, you can see that they tried heavy metal, they tried like symphonic rock, and they tried simple pop music, they tried kids music, rock and roll, they did it like crazy anyway. So I don't know, it just makes my hair go on end still.